Today, we visit Joshua Tree, California, to do some medium format film photography. We also visit Richard Photo Lab, and we have some garlic bread. Yeah, that's what's up. Our day begins in Santa Monica, California, and we'll end in Joshua Tree National Park, or our Airbnb near there, 130 miles away from here. The most important part of photography is breakfast. And we've gone out, we've done our morning round, Venice canals, followed by a few surfers in the Venice beach, and then I kind of got a little too bright in midday sun. And now we're here at the Georgian, about to have a delicious breakfast. We saw Hanson here once. That's a real fact. Here's looks like a $21 breakfast. Is that ice cream? Richard Photo Lab has been developing and scanning everything that you've seen throughout the last 11 episodes of this series, including this one, including the future episodes to come. And we figured it'd be interesting to do a lab tour. I have never been to a professional lab before, so I was personally just very interested in what it looks like. I've seen the drugstore labs, but never anything on a professional scale. So this was a very cool experience. We were greeted by Bill, who is the general manager, and it was so interesting as somebody that's been sending my film here for years now to actually see the process. What I do is I usually just send the film and then I get the scans back, and then a few days later I'll get the actual proper negatives in the mail. And to actually see the process and to meet the people that are actually scanning and editing your work is really incredible. What is one tip or one recommendation you have for somebody that has never seriously shot film before and is maybe coming from a digital space?
Don't be afraid to overexpose. I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest problem that I see, the most consistent, is from digital photographers who want to underexpose naturally and appropriately. So I mean, the easiest tip to throw out there is give it a couple of extra stops of light.
And as simple as that sounds, that had a dramatic impact on my film photography and the scans that I'm getting back, that I'm now getting a lot closer to what I actually want. And it was just that simple tip. So shout out Bill. Look at this beautiful sign.
Glorious.
Glory be. Nothing says California more than that sign. Or maybe the California flag. Or maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger. But the sign, it's nice. We're here at In-N-Out. In-N-Out is a bit of an institution. And you got to eat here like 9 times if you come to California. There's one right outside the airport. And they are scattered around all of California. And yeah, we are about to have an animal style experience here. Because In-N-Out is so busy, they actually have an attendant, a server that just waits in the parking lot for you. So you don't actually order at the speaker, you order to the man in the parking lot out here. And I would say it's more efficient because you just arrive and your food is done, and also it's fresh. They're like, I don't know, so many good things to say about In-N-Out. I got a pink lemonade.
There's animal style, regular fry, animal fry, pink lemonade, vanilla shake. Yep. 1869.
Bingo. I'm editing this sequence from back in Canada, and I'm a little bit depressed now. They now have a box for animal fries. I guess it's no longer on the secret menu. Look at that. Run away to the desert to go shoot some more film photography. Who would have guessed it? That's what we're doing. Check out how this guy loaded his truck, though. I'm not mad, I'm just impressed. We are on our way to Yucca Valley, our Airbnb there. I looked up Yucca Valley fun facts, and there are literally none. So nothing fun has ever happened there. I'm sure Keanu Reeves has been there, probably, but there's no documentation of it. Anyways, our Airbnb here is awesome, and it is also not tarantula season, which I'm pretty stoked about. And oh yeah, that's a real thing. I've been here for it. Just checked into our Airbnb here in the desert, and we have something that's called a cowboy tub, which I've never encountered in an Airbnb or in my life yet to this day. And what it is, well, let's just go fill it up. You just put a regular bath stopper in it. Well, that's enough of that shit. Let's head on into Joshua Tree National Park, which is honestly very, very nice. And we're looking for the perfect Joshua tree. We're gonna go for a bit of a drive through the park and basically scout. While the light is kind of like this, it's already pretty good, but it will get better. We're gonna go for a drive. We're gonna kind of scout our locations on the way, turn around and come back. But right now, I'm going to start with a photograph of this Joshua tree. And I'm shooting here on, I've said the word Mamiya so many times now that that's what I say in my brain. So it's the 7.2, which is a medium format camera, and it's incredible. It's a rangefinder medium format camera, so it's very small. The RZ67 is another camera that I love, but it's quite large and it shoots the same 120 film negative. So yeah, incredible camera. Very happy with it. Definitely not one that I will ever sell in my lifetime. Also, it's very quiet. Here we go. And there it is. I also have a Pro Mist filter on the front of my lens here. What this does is actually diffuses the light a little bit, makes things a little bit softer. We're kind of in that sunset time frame. So having a filter like that just makes things feel a little bit softer and warmer and maybe more romantic. Coming from the wedding photographer mindset, I feel like it's definitely a useful thing to have to create a better atmosphere maybe than real life. Maybe that's cheating if you're in it for the pure photojournalism. Maybe it's not. I think it makes a more aesthetically pleasing image, I feel, when used in the right conditions. I was so confident with this image, but it's absolute garbage. Sorry for making you look at it. This camera fortunately has a built-in light meter that is fully functional, which means that it'll tell me what exposure should be and I can make adjustments, or I can actually set it to automatic mode and it'll just select the right shutter speed for me. What I've actually done is I've chosen to overexpose my film. So rather than using, if you're on a digital camera or some SLRs, you have an exposure compensation tool where you can go +1 stop, -1 stop. And basically all that does is it lets in a little bit more light or a little bit less light. What you can also do if you don't have that +- button is you can just set your film to a different speed. So I've set my light meter to read from 200 ISO, which means it's going to let a little bit more light in than if it was just trying to meter for 400 ISO, which is what the film is in here. So everything is going to be overexposed by 1 stop. But I think that for the warm feeling sunset images, I feel like it really does make for a better image overall. Again, season to taste. If you like the underexposed look with the really vibrant sky, that is an option too. If you want to go for the more washed out, kind of more painterly colors, for lack of a better description, overexposing a little bit on Portra 400 is the way to kind of unlock that from the film. Of our entire California road trip, I think that the drive through Joshua Tree National Park was my favorite. The photographs that came from it, honestly, I'm disappointed. Photograph taken. But the life experience was great. Had a very, very nice time just existing in this weird landscape with all these Joshua trees. It's very strange. Is this the beautiful backlit changing of the film? New roll of Portra 400. Golden hour, about 5 minutes away. Gonna continue driving up this way, maybe a few more minutes, and then probably turn around and go back towards the trees that we saw on the way in, because they are my favorite trees that we have seen so far. And yeah, then we're gonna go for some, I guess, rock climbing, do some light bouldering, some lead climbing, and call it an evening. This is my favorite tree I've seen so far. The problem is going to be that there's so much going on in the background with all the other Joshua trees, and I can't really isolate this tree with depth of field. So while it's a pretty sight to look at, it's likely not going to make as good a photo as I would like, but I am going to take it anyways. If I could summarize the story of my photography career, it would probably be that last statement. Here I am sounding like a child in a snowsuit. Onward to new and exciting opportunities. This road looks pretty nice though. Fuck. Nothing looked great in photos. My snowsuit though sounds great. Turns out maybe the sunlight golden hour section of the day is not my favorite. It looks very nice. It's a great experience to be in, but photographically, as soon as the sun goes down, it gets a heck of a lot better. These are a few of my favorite photos, even though that one's poorly composed. The experience of being here, I don't think can really be translated properly in photos. You can get kind of close, but I don't think you can get all the way there. So here I am being overconfident with what I thought that I captured and doing a wrap up. That wraps up our day here in Joshua Tree National Park. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to go home and relax in our cowboy pool at our Airbnb, which is a pool that you fill with a garden hose and then you sit in it. And we will see if we get some stars tonight or if the moon immediately comes up. Beautiful dark sky area of the world. And last night, the actual brightest moon of the entire year that just kind of bleached out all the stars. So a bit of a bummer. Well, at least it's out from sunset to sunrise to bleach out all the stars so we can't see anything from our cowboy hot tub while eating our garlic bread. Sad. That's all for this week. Check out the link in the description to see the rest of the film photography road trips. There are a number of them, 10 others that you can go and watch right now, including a very, very long one, over an hour long, in Iceland, which I do recommend you check out. One of my favorite pieces of content we have ever created on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.